with it. Not sure what is wrong with it. Hopefully it will work now. I mean, it is working now, I think. Wrong with it. Get slowed down with the whole thing and move on. Really big game between Manchester City and Real Madrid. First, first tie of this remarkable Champions League round of, playoff tie. Both teams, I mean, Real Madrid won the Champions League in 2024. Manchester City won it in 2023. So last two winners of the won the Champions League, and yeah, so and both teams will be eager to get into the round of 16 ties, where of course the ties will be harder for both teams, and but they must get the first. Manchester City have been in terrible form, absolutely terrible. But they must uh, absolutely terrible they have been, and yeah, they'll be hoping to get there. Even at the weekend against Leighton Orient, they struggled and barely got through, and now they have got Plymouth in the FA Cup first fifth round. I mean, and they'll be yeah, they'll be. I mean, they'll be looking forward to get to that, but Real Madrid, they are not without their own struggles over the weekend. They drew with their city rivals Atletico Madrid. I mean, they won't mind that much because it still keeps them ahead of everybody else in the Champions League table. Oh, sorry, in La Liga table, and and they'll be confident that they can see of the challenge of or from uh, Atletico Madrid, as well as Barcelona. I mean, as far as Manchester City are concerned, their problems are you know uh, far more pronounced. They are in a real fight to make it to the top five of the Premier League, where uh, let's say they are not going to win the Champions League, then it'll be a big blow for them. I mean, they are involved in a number of arbitration court cases, etc., with the Premier League and who knows what side of the coin that what side of the what side of the story that thing goes with their cases, because as of now we have no idea. They seem to be they seem to be getting somewhere with this APT ruling. uh, it looks as if they have you know they've started another legal case against Premier League about those APT things, but we'll see how it goes for them, and we'll see how it goes for them, and yeah, for now it seems that there is quite a way to go before we find out what actually happens. What actually happens, and yeah. Let's get on to the team news. Both teams have been affected slightly by injuries. In case of Real Madrid, virtually their whole defense has been wiped out. We'll get to Real Madrid later, but first of all, with with it's 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 sorry, Manchester City. Uh, it's Edison in goal, Nathan Ake at right back, Guardiola at left back, Akanji and Diaz in center of midfield, which is pretty solid. You could say that they can keep a clean sheet. They can keep a clean sheet, and then and then we have what do we call? Then we have then we have Stones and Bernardo Silva. No Kovacic, no Gundogan in the lineup. So Stones and Bernardo Silva in the two in the two defensive midfield
Wrong with
roles.
it.
The midfield role.
Wrong with it. Hopefully it will work now.
What's happening
I
there?
mean, it is working now, I think.
Yeah. So as I was saying, Stones and Kovacic in the defensive midfield role, and Savio on the right hand side, and Grealish as well as Kevin De Bruyne behind main striker Erling Haaland. So no Phil Foden either. I'm surprised to learn that Phil Foden isn't starting for Man City, but Pep has made his choice. I didn't check whether Phil Foden was on the bench or not, but be that as it may, Pep has made his choice. He has gone with his trusted 11, or the 11 that he trusts for this game. And then, as far as Real Madrid are concerned, sure, I think Courtois is in goal. Courtois is in. As far as defense is concerned, Valverde is at right back. Valverde is at right back. In center of defense. In center of In center of defense, it's Asensio and Chouamani and Ferland Mendy at left back. Ceballos and Camavinga in the defensive midfield duo, pivot if you want to call them. Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo and Kylian Mbappe up top. Kylian Mbappe, who's been scoring a lot of goals recently. He's hit a recent rich vein of form recently, and you are not surprised to learn that, given that the quality of player, we already know how good a player he is, and we know how good a player he is, and he he was always going to come good, especially when he's playing for a team like when he's playing for a team like Manchester, for Real Madrid. He was always going to come good. He was always going to come good, and he has come good. Even he scored against Atletico Madrid. PSG now 3-0 up. Dembele, who scored a hat-trick against Brest a couple of weeks earlier, has now got a couple with the penalty as as well. And yeah, so I mean, looks like PSG are almost through to the round of 16, and who will they face? We'll soon find out. But as far as Real Madrid are concerned, and Manchester City, one of these big hitters will go out. One of those big hitters will go out, and Juventus playing PSG today, and one more match to keep an eye out for, and it's Sporting Portugal versus Borussia Dortmund. And I mean, Ruben Amorim's side, one of, or Borussia Dortmund, who have been in terrible form, will, 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 will probably go out. Not today, but next week probably one of them will go out, and then we'll move on to the round of 16 ties, which will be intriguing as well. I mean, the path for most of the teams has already been mapped out, and yeah. So, I mean, the team news we have been over those two team news news of those two teams, and I mean, Pep Guardiola, he would be ruining the fact that Manchester City did not do sufficient business in the summer. Sufficient business in the summer. They. I mean, I think they were very complacent with the way they with the way they behaved. I mean, Savio and past his sell by date. Ilkay Gundogan is a it's a basically a recipe for disaster. Injuries, especially, didn't help their cause. Um, their defense has been, I mean, all over the place with injuries, etc. And and yeah, they um, they they were, I think, very complacent. And I mean, it might be too little, too late in the sense that they have rectified some of their mistakes. But even now, the fight for the Champions League is going to be intense. Today is what, Tuesday? Tuesday going into Wednesday. Saturday they play. On Saturday they play Newcastle United at home. I mean, given the midfield prowess Newcastle United have, I'd not be surprised if they get overrun in midfield. Isak, Gordon, and I mean, Nathan Ake is playing tonight, and if they get overrun, I mean, there's a good chance that Newcastle United, the team that I support, could register a win at the city of at Etihad. I keep calling it City of Manchester Stadium. Not sure why, but that's that's the case. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, Omar Marmoush, probably the most high-profile signing of the summer. He's on the bench. Doku is on the bench, even though I mean, he's not a new signing. And Nico Gonzalez is on the bench. Nico Gonzalez is on the bench as well, and yeah, I mean, Kusanov and Victor Reis, or Victor Hayes, however you want to call it. He hasn't even made the Champions League squad. Kusanov of the Kodir Uzbek international. He's on the bench, I think, and and about what, 13 minutes to go before the game kicks off at the Etihad, and Manchester City, they are coming off. I think their last league game was a 5-1 defeat to Arsenal. Arsenal has since exited the Carabao Cup. I mean, most people would acknowledge the fact that I mean Arsenal were already out, and it was only rubber stamped on last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, when Newcastle beat them 2-0 at home, after having beaten them 2-0 at Emirates. But we'll talk about Arsenal some other day, some other time. And yeah, so in terms of that, Arsenal are out. Man City, I mean, the last two performances haven't that hasn't given any cause for optimism to I mean, to me at least. I can only speak for myself, and I'm pretty sure most of the fans would be thinking on the same lines as I am, that that uh, I mean the the title is well and truly gone. Of course, it is. I'm not sure any diehard or any miracle worker would even still there, and the fight for Champions League is still there. Fight for the Champions League places. I mean, see, for whatever it's worth, they have to make they have to make will have to make the Champions League by hook or by crook. I mean, uh, whichever way, they just have to make it to what the would call Champions League. And yeah, I mean, if they don't, then who knows what might happen. I mean, given that City have won six of the last Premier League titles. I mean, City in Europa League or was still Conference League just doesn't make sense. It doesn't register with you. So, so I mean, I'd say that they for whatever it's worth, they just simply have to make it to the Champions League. Real Madrid, let's talk about them. There was a stage when they were doing pretty well in the league. They had a decent 5 point lead over others, but since then they have been clawed back. They 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 drew against Atletico. I think they lost a match against someone, Las Palmas or something like that. I'm not exactly sure who they lost to, but against someone they did lose. I'm struggling to recall who they lost to. Not Valencia and not Barcelona either. I mean, they did lose to someone. Uh, I'm pretty sure that loud or have even might have even drawn with someone. So, so yeah, I mean, injuries. If you look at it, Rudiger is out, Militao is out, Alaba is out, Carvajal is out, and I mean these are some of the big players that that have been ruled out because of injury. So, I mean, it's it's I mean, it's not easy to cope with it. Just ask Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, given the excuses Ange Postecoglou has been making, I use the term excuses lately. I mean loosely, but anyhow, Newcastle United's whole squad was decimated last season. 13, 14 players out at one point of time, and yeah, and but we made it work for ourselves. Finished seventh. Unlucky, could have finished sixth and been in Europe but it was what it was. It was what it was. I mean, this 3 points behind, and I am pretty sure if we hadn't had injuries, I know it's a big if, but if we hadn't had that many injuries, we would have finished a lot higher, perhaps around fourth, fifth, may have even qualified for the Champions League, may have even qualified for the Champions League knockout rounds, or even or even or even qualified for this season's Champions League, which would have been a big help. But it wasn't to be. We are where we are, and yeah, we have to we have to we have to uh, make with the cast we are all dealt with, and yeah, well, what can you not much, and and yeah, so that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing with the with the with the situation, and yeah. So 5 minutes to go before the game kicks off at the Etihad Stadium. Really looking forward to it. It will be a. I mean, I'm expecting a game where it's going to be. I have a feeling it might be a classic game between two teams who go hell for leather against the other. I mean, Manchester City have to go for it. The defense better than Real Madrid's, but I firmly believe that uh, Madrid's attack tonight is better than is better than is better than uh, Manchester City, their hosts. So yeah, well, we'll see how it turns out, for both teams, and yeah, we'll see how both teams match up. I'm pretty sure both teams are in the tunnel. I'm not watching the match right now, and I'm not watching the match. So yeah, um, prediction, I'd say 3-2 Real Madrid. Oh, sorry, Manchester City. That's what I'll go for. Last time I was expecting a high-scoring game. Real Madrid came and parked the bus. Basically, that was their tactic. They went through on penalties. Bernardo Silva, I think, missed, and it was a big blow. Might have been last season, probably was last season, and yeah, it was what it was, and yeah. So the game, I think, is about to begin. Is about to begin. Other games we will keep an eye out for, and we will keep an eye out on other games as well, to see how how they turn out for the other teams. Juventus are a big team. They beat Manchester City as well, and but the primary focus will definitely be this game that Ancelotti is waiting for him, and that's what I was going to say. And Pep Guardiola, formerly of Barcelona, of course, and he'll be he'll be uh, he'll be hoping to beat Real Madrid. Another former Barcelona manager, Luis Enrique, he was with PSG. They beaten Brest 3-0, I think. Yeah, full time. It is in wherever the Brest team play, and they now is on the bench, and Luis Rico, Luis McAtee. And good thing from City point of view is that they don't have to watch what's his name, Matthias Nunez at uh, at uh, at right back, because he was absolutely terrible against Club Brugge. And yeah, so Raul Asensio is playing. Some pretty damning news, if true, about him in the in the in the news. Basically, I was going to say newspaper, but I mean it is out there, the news about him. And I'm not going to I'm not going to talk about that, because that's pretty awful. Ederson all smiles before the kickoff, Haaland, Kanji, Stones, good to see him fit. Kylian Mbappe is there as well. Game should start momentarily. They do get us underway. Um, Mbappe will be looking hot streak, and I mean that's could have been a dangerous pass, but Guardiola deals with it. Grealish, Guardiola. I mean he's been a bit up and down this season as well. And Atish Thakral is the Hindi commentator, but we are not listening to those. And yeah, we are listening to me. So we have a lot of commentators here, and in various languages. And not sure who it was. Might have been Stones and Savio. I mean, he's been awful. I mean, he's not been good enough. I mean, he has a lot of time on his hands, but he's not hit the ground running. Here goes Grealish. Oh, that's a foul. The French referee Clement Toupin, I mean, points to the area where the foul occurred. And yeah, so Grealish is down, fouled by Rodrigo. I mean, collided with Valverde quite badly. So I mean, Grealish is up. I mean, he was looking, in a bit of pain with and was grimacing with pain. So yeah, uh, free kick to Manchester City in a dangerous sort of an area where you know a makeshift defense where Valverde is the